Motion made by Stacy Russo,
Second.
second by Susan Gravellisi. And we'll do the roll call for approval of left field invoice. Mike Picardi,
Yes.
Stacy Rizzo,
Yes.
Susan Gravellisi,
Yes.
Dr. Kelly,
Yes.
Carl Svensson,
Yes.
Christopher Bowen,
Yes.
Rich Viscay,
Yes.
Mayor Keith,
Yes.
Anthony Cogliandro,
Yes.
Don Martelli,
Yes.
Chris Ciaramella.
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, we have Perkins Eastman invoices for, again, for August services, and this is for construction documents and some geotechnical work. So the total for Perkins Eastman's invoice is $719,719.20.
So move. Second.
Who made that second? I'm sorry.
Susan.
Susan, thank you. Can't keep up with my checkerboard. Roll call starting with Mike Picardi,
Yes.
Stacy Rizzo,
Yes.
Susan Gravellisi,
Yes.
Dr. Kelly,
Yes.
Carl Svensson, Carl, was that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Christopher Bowen,
Yes.
Rich Viscay,
Yes.
Mayor Keith,
Yes.
Anthony Cogliandro,
Yes.
Don Martelli,
Yes.
Chris Ciaramella.
Yes.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Next up, we have Consigli's invoice, and this is for, again, for August services, and it's a combination of their pre-construction services, invoice number 32 in the amount of 27,000. And then there is also requisition 3, which is for construction. So their total invoice is $619,747.81.
So move. Second.
Thank you. Mike Picardi,
Yes.
Stacy Rizzo,
Yeah.
Susan Gravellisi,
Yes.
Dr. Kelly,
Yes.
Carl Svensson,
Yes.
Christopher Bowen,
Yes.
Rich Viscay,
Yes.
Mayor Keith,
Yes.
Anthony Cogliandro,
Yes.
Don Martelli,
Yes.
and Chris Ciaramella.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm going to.
Thank you, Linda.
Back
Can I ask
to-
a quick question on that? And I don't know if this is for Perkins Eastman or for Brian, but will we get an update on what came from the geothermal studies?
In terms of, do you mean for the actual like geothermal heating the heating system, or a lot of this geotechnical work for the foundation?
I think it was the geotechnical work for the foundation that we just voted on. And
Yep.
just if there could be an update on what came of that work, if any problems were discovered or all good, something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, no new issues that we're going to talk about a little later because it relates to two contract amendments that we have tonight for additional work. But generally speaking, as we've said before, the site work including what are called ground improvements under the building, which is where the geotechnical component comes in, is really extremely complex with this building on this site. We've had to ask some of our consultants to do a lot of work to support awarding that. We're not quite to the point where we have a site work award tonight, but we're getting there. I'm going to note that we probably are going to see if we could do a quick building committee meeting next week to review that award in more detail. But we are moving in the right direction. We're holding the schedule to get to an award, to get a site worker on board and verify that the overall schedule is still looking good. So we don't have the answers yet, Dr. Kelly, but a lot of the work we're going to be discussing tonight is centered around getting to the point where we have those answers. And I'll sort of move forward with a general update. That same topic's gonna come up. But just in terms of, so for agenda item for 90% construction document updates, I just have some verbal updates. Then we'll go into some contract awards that relate to what I was just talking about. Generally speaking, permitting wise, we are done with the Conservation Commission and we are done with MIPA. To be specific, we have gotten the FEIR from MIPA. That concludes the MIPA process fully. With Concom, they have issued their order of conditions, and the order of conditions will be registered at the Registry of Deeds in the coming, I think it's going to be clear about middle of next week. And we are using that order of conditions to help bring a lot of this site work award stuff to completion. But the good news is we are, at this point, generally out of the Concom and MIPA business. We're proceeding with working towards final building permits, which we'll do in a phased manner. And one of our last ongoing permitting tasks is related to a Chapter 91 waterways license that we've noted before and will not inhibit our proceeding into phase 2 construction. In terms of the MSBA part of the process, we did submit the 60% documents to them last month. They reviewed them, just standard course, issued comments. We have responded to those comments. The completion of MIPA also allowed the city to sign the project funding agreement, which they issued well over a year ago and was the basis for our financial presentation to this committee, the school committee, and the city council. However, that agreement couldn't be executed till we were done with MIPA. So the city has executed it. We forwarded with all the required documents to the MSBA. And I'm going to be checking in with them in the coming days to get a sense of the turnaround time. They were committed to do that pretty quickly. And that is a required step. Them signing that document is the required step that'll allow us to start inputting reimbursement from the last year and getting reimbursement flowing back to the city. So I don't have a drop dead date for when that reimbursement is going to come back, but the step right now is for the MSBA to execute the project funding agreement, open up their financial system called ProPay, and Left Field will work with them and Rich Viscay's folks to make sure all the invoices we've processed for the last year plus get reviewed and reimbursed. After that point, we'll be on a regular monthly cycle with MSBA where this committee approves invoices, they get paid, Left Field submits them to MSBA, MSBA processes them, reviews them, and issues reimbursement on a monthly basis. So we're in good shape with permitting, we're in good shape with MSBA. In terms of bidding,
Brian, can I pause you for 1 minute?
Yep.
And I'll pose this question to the mayor. I feel like we got something from MSBA that was the fully executed funding agreement.
Ooh, like recently, last few days?
Yes.
Yesterday,
Patrick.
I believe.
Oh,
Yes. So I'll I'm not sure if you were on that. I can forward it over, but ultimately, I think that was the document that Dr. Kelly's referring to. But obviously, we'll still need to continue to submit for the reimbursements as the invoices come in.
Excellent.
I'll look and see if I have that, Brian, and kick it over to you because I think it might have had the instructions for ProPay embedded.
Yep. Excellent. Yeah, if you could forward that over to me, that's great. I don't think I missed it, but I'll check my email and junk mail again. But yeah, if you could, one of you could forward that over, that'd be great. That's probably record turnaround time for MSBA executing a PFA. So in terms of bidding, out of the 5 trades that we were bidding in this initial award. We have completed the bidding process for concrete and steel. And between those and the site demo, which was awarded months ago, we're at an aggregate of about 7.8 million under the budget. We are still in the process of wrapping up bidding for underground waterproofing, elevators, and site work being the big one. And we're going to try to get some of those major components wrapped up in the coming days. I think I'm going to be emailing you all to see if we can do a meeting next week that solely will deal with the consigli contract amendment to formally award as many of these, at least concrete and steel, maybe site work too. We'll see. To award as much as we can now to keep the concrete and specifically steel shop drawing and manufacturing process going. I do think as a warning, it's good that we're 7.8 million under. We don't have numbers, but we anticipate the site work is probably not going to be under budget. So again, we can't really get into a lot of detail there. We have a number of meetings last week, this week, and next week to iron that all out. But as you know, this bidding is going, we're going to track it as an aggregate. We'll be issuing a 90% construction document package at the end of this month, which will get estimated. And we'll review with the committee where we are with those first 5 trades, how over, how under. And if needed, we will run a value management, value engineering process next month if we have to correct for the budget. But right now with the 3 trades with site demo, we're trending at 7.8 million under. And I will follow up with the committee. Probably by the end of this week, I'll have an idea on when we might be able to do a quick meeting. I'll poll you all and see if we can get a quorum. If we do have a meeting, it should be a pretty quick one. No minutes, no invoices, one agenda item. And it'll just be to approve the consigli contract amendment, which is sort of plugged as agenda item 8 here. I just didn't think we were going to have it ready for tonight. So Linda, I'm going to take over the screen if that's all right. That might be a little easier than me asking for you to click, and we'll proceed. Thank you. We're going to proceed through agenda items 5, 6, and 7. We're going to skip 8. So 5, 6, 7, there's going to be 3 motions associated with this. And then we can go to new business or other business. Let me start this third-party construction services with a quick, the day got away from me, Michael Picardi. Are you comfortable with proceeding with this award tonight? Or do you want a little more time for references and stuff to come in? I've chased down at least a few references for each of these companies, but references always takes a while. I meant to call you earlier, Michael, to see if you were comfortable with the committee making this award tonight. Wouldn't impact the schedule if we were to bunk this up with the meeting next week. But with due respect to you, Michael, and purchasing, I just wanted to see if you're comfortable with this.
No, I appreciate it. I wasn't in the office anyways, Brian, so you weren't going to get. I feel like Briggs is by far the highest ranked just by looking at all the evaluations. I'm sure you guys have worked with them, and probably Perkins, Eastman, and Consigli. So if you don't see any issues with your like internal references, or if you have Thompson and Lechner higher ranked in like reference wise, I don't see any problem with moving forward with them.
Okay. Yeah, the first 3 here, as far as me personally, the first 3 up here, the 3 that we've worked with the most. Everyone here is around and does this business, but to give the rest of the committee sort of, this is a third party. It's a mandatory third party. They work for the city. They don't work for the design team. They don't work for the contractor. They don't work for subs. And we have them in to do material testing for a whole menu, a 2-page menu of potential tests, whether they're concrete strength testing, steel, welds, waterproofing, roofing membrane, soil testing. So we typically ask for qualifications from all these companies. We rank them in terms of their non-technical proposals and the pricing proposals based on some of the items on the screen, firm background, experience, their ability to work quickly. Ultimately, that translates into a number. And as you can see, Briggs scored the highest here. going all the way down with a 13.8, going all the way down to a firm called Terracon that got a 9.2. So we are definitely comfortable with moving forward with Briggs. The reason you don't see a number attached to this is because with testing, you just never know how many you're going to end up doing. It's based on the schedule. It's based on when the concrete pours happen, when soil happens. So we do this mostly on qualifications, some on price. We make them give us a single unit rate for each price, and we look at those prices to establish who has better pricing or not. I'm going to jump to the budget really quick. This line down here, testing services, which we've carried as a $400,000 budget, is where Briggs, next month, you'll see Briggs broken out under this testing budget. And I'm going to discuss with the city and school what the appropriate initial purchase order to open up for them. It's basically going to be an open purchase order that we're just going to pay the tests as we do them. We'll award it for now for less than the 400. 300 is the number that I think we'll probably start with. We'll get through the next 10 months or so of work, get all the steel erected, and see how we've worn down that 300. And at that point, we'll be able to tell you, do we think this 400 will hold? Maybe on the back end of the job, is there savings here? Do we need to bring in money? But it's not something that's a low bid. It's based on qualifications and sort of an aggregate of what their pricing per test looks like. So I don't know if there are any questions on testing. Otherwise, we'd be looking for a motion to approve the selection of Briggs as the project's third-party construction material testing agent for the project.
Brian, I have a quick question.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Sue. Are we going to be doing this as a separate one-off contract with Briggs, or is it going to be done as an amendment to like you or Perkins Eastman?
Independent contract with Briggs.
Perfect. Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
So yeah, it'll be a Briggs contract directly to the city, not through left field, not through Perkins Eastman, not through Consigli.
Right. Okay. I think it's important to note also that Briggs was one of the highest ranked from just like the proposal standpoint, and their pricing was close to being the lowest price also. So again, no kind of a win-win here.
Yep. I'm just
Just
sort
so
of
everybody
looking.
knows.
Yeah, they pretty much aced it. They did get the highest amount of points for pricing as well. So we think it's the sweet spot between, we think they're the most capable, we think they're the most ready, the most local. They made the best commitments for, no penalty for same day turnaround, et cetera. So the key with this is we can get them there quick. When we know something's happening tomorrow that needs to be tested, we call them as late as the evening or this sort of time and say, we need you there tomorrow, ready to do some cylinder breaks or soil compaction tests or something. So that got them to the top along with their pricing.
Brian, one thing I want to raise that's relevant here is the trouble that we've had with inferior concrete at the other newer, I'm going to call them, they're not really new anymore, at the other buildings that deteriorated pretty quickly. And it was due to, giant rocks included in what was supposed to be smooth concrete. And so I just would ask that you as the OPM raise that with Briggs and make sure that they are very much in tune to the consistency and the quality of the concrete that they use.
I appreciate that, Dr. Kelly. We'll review that not only with Briggs, but with the structural engineering team, Consigli, the architect, everyone. Appreciate you flagging that.
With that, I make a motion to approve the selection of Briggs as the third-party construction material testing agent for the project.
I will second that.
I will do a roll call for the approval. Mike Picardi,
Yes.
Stacy Rizzo,
Sorry, yes.
Susan Gravellisi,
Yes.
Dr. Kelly,
Yes.
Carl Svensson,
Yes.
Christopher Bowen,
Yes.
Rich Viscay. Did we lose Rich? I know he had to jump.
Nope, I'm here. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Keith,
Yes.
Anthony Cogliandro,
Yes.
Don Martelli,
Yes.
Chris Ciaramella.
Yes.
Thank you. Ryan, back to you.
Sounds good. So we're going to move on to agenda item 6, which is left field proposed contract amendment number 7 and budget revision request 7. So this is something that we did we know is coming. This is basically we need a third party, not directly contracted to the city, third party that needs to be managed by either the OPM or the architect. In this case, left field's going to manage Sanborn Head's efforts here, but we always require a licensed site professional to help with submitting various items that come up in terms of both geotechnical soil considerations and geoenvironmental. Geoenvironmental's dirty dirt. Geotechnical is it going to support the building? So we do have 2 areas on this site that have DEP open files on them. Those existed from the previous owner. So these services here are to help create what are called the DEP RAM plans and do some soil pre-characterization around those sites to make sure that we're not mixing dirty dirt with usable dirt, and also to support the EPA NPDES permit, NPDES permit which is related to handling of water by subcontractors and by the CM during construction. So what I'll note here, it's sort of the last note, is we're going to have Sanborn Head do one final wave of soil pre-characterization outside of these DEP dirty soil areas. We don't have that proposal yet. I'm hoping to have it in time for the quick meeting we do next week. So for right now, the services that we have quantified for a proposal add up to $79,970. One of the existing left field allowance lines has 47.7 left on it. This would tap out that line in the budget. So we're looking to approve the $79,970 proposal and move $32,270 from the soft cost contingency into left field's contract. That $32,270 is the delta between the total proposal value and what's left on one of our allowances. After this draw, soft contingency would have about 1.9 million left in it. These are sort of, in a way, non-negotiable. We need to do it. It's just unfortunate that it didn't fit into one of our existing allowances, which is why we're looking to process it via an amendment. And the budget revision request is required to move this 32,270. I'll quickly just show you where that, if you go to the very bottom of the budget, you'll see we've always carried a soft and a hard contingency. As a reminder, soft, what we mean by that is that's a contingency for services. Hard contingency is for construction. So we haven't and will not tap the hard contingency until we're at some point where perhaps there are change orders. To date, and including, you'll see that the 2 items we're talking about tonight are built into this 305. So after the 2 items we're talking, we'll have 1.75 left in the soft contingency, which started at 2.06 million.
Brian, real quick.
Yep.
I'm just confused how these services weren't priorly budgeted for in LSP. Wouldn't that be from the get-go?
Yeah, we knew we needed it. The truth is that we've sort of, I'm going to go to up here in the left field contract. So we made these categories right here, from extra services down to other administrative costs, were allowances we included in our budget that more or less have been eroded by other items we need. So the long story short is we do know these are coming. We tried to capture the right allowance values in our contract to pay for them, but we've sort of eroded those allowances. They weren't big enough.
Get there and
Somebody is.
she's ready.
You check your mute if you're not talking, please. I'm not sure who it is. So more or less, if I had a better crystal ball, we would have proposed in our initial contract higher values for a lot of these allowances. With the multiple code reviews we're doing in this sort of complex building, and a lot of the items that some of the local authorities having jurisdiction wanted in these code reviews, we sort of ran out of allowance money, Chris.
Is the LSP budgeted for somewhere here? I mean, that's good.
The LSP would have always been in this extra services line. But to cover the full Code Red review, we had to put some of the Code Red money here, which basically made the line we were going to use inadequate.
Okay.
So it's not basic. The short answer is not basic services. These numbers up here just for DD, construction docs, bidding, CA, these are all basic services. Any of these sub-consultants that are hard to get a real quote 2 to 3 years in advance for, just because we don't know exactly what we're going to be testing or why we're going to be testing it. We carry allowance values when we established the budget, which is years ago at this point. And as things become real and we give out code reviews or site testing, pre-characterization soil surveys, we hope our budget held for these allowances, but in this case, it did not.
Hey, Brian, could you tell me how many other items that we know are coming down the road that we have no budget for?
There's really only one that I know of, and it's going to be the second version of exactly this topic. It's going to be Sanborn Head. And let me just jump to a graphic that might help. I'm just going to have to click a bunch here. So part of this proposal is to do some soil characterization around the two clusters of areas where we have DEP issues, which are in this part of the site and back here at the end of Dunn Road. The final proposal we're looking for that we don't have remaining allowance values for is to more or less follow this grid out through the entire site and do a number of soil tests that will allow the contractors to know the rules of engagement for, can soil from over here be reused over here? Can soil from this area be reused over here? We both need that soil to not cross-contaminate other soil if there's dirt issues, dirty dirt issues. And we need to know that the geotechnical capabilities of the soil mean it can go from here to here, or maybe it's got to be removed off site. So this is all related to really trying to hone in on the final bids for site work and being able to say how much is going to have to go on site, how much can be reused on site, how much can go off site, and how much can be reused on site. Sorry. So really that's the only one I know of other than the two we're going to talk tonight is the second version of Sanborn Head, Rich. And that'll be a similar draw to the soft cost contingency.
Thank you.
And side note, for the cash flow you've always worked with, we do show those contingencies as being fully expended by the end of the job. We don't expect to have to do that, but I'm just saying as these items come up for you, Rich, it doesn't really change the cash flow because we sort of show the cash flows as this money burning over the course of the job anyway.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So if there are no other, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if there's no other questions, I make a motion to approve left field contract amendment number 7 and the budget revision request 7 for services for Sanborn Head for $79,970.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Stacy and Susan. Roll call, Mike Bacardi.
Can I just ask one more question, Brian?
Sure.
The amendment is in the 79,000 amount, which is Sanborn's contract, or just the 32,000 that's left over?
The amendment is to approve the full proposal. The budget revision request just needs 32 to top off an allowance value that's already in our contract for 47.7. So the net impact to our contract is a $32,000 increase.
Okay, so this amendment's really only for 32,000.
technically, yes, it's approving the full thing, but we only need 32,270 as an increase to our purchase order to fund this.
Okay, gotcha. So should it be titled that it's in the amount of 32,000, not the 79,000?
I think maybe the most accurate way to write this, that I should have thought of it, would have been motion to approve left field contract amendment 7 in the total proposed amount of 79,970 and budget revision request in the total amount of 32,270 to fund additional services.
Oh, that's the BRR. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so the 32 is the BRR number that moves the money. Amendment 7 is basically to approve the proposal, even though we already have 47.7 to pay for it.
Right. Then I vote yes on that.
Okay.
All right. Stacy Rizzo,
Yes.
Susan Gravellisi,
Yes.
Dr. Kelly,
Yes.
Carl Svensson,
Excuse me.
Yes.
Christopher Bowen,
Yes.
Rich Viscay,
Yes.
Mayor Keith,
Yes.
Anthony Cogliandro,
Yes.
Don Martelli,
Yes.
and Chris Ciramella.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item 7, which is more directly related to finalizing the site work bidding process, which again is probably about as technical a process as we have on these projects of this magnitude. But I'm going to mostly paraphrase this, but based on the ongoing transition into bidding and construction, and talking with bidders, talking with Consigli, talking with the design team, we needed to request additional design support services from GZA, the project's geotechnical engineer, to stay on board beyond producing the bid documents, which they have. A lot of this technical items is each of these contractors, when it comes to earthwork and soil improvements from a structural point of view, does a lot of their own design work based on exactly how they're going to implement this, what kind of equipment, what goes on behind the scenes, the means and methods. And it is so complex that we really need GZA to stay on board through not only the award of these systems, but through shop drawings and through monitoring some of this and quantifying it on site, so that when we are moving soil around, we know we're doing the right things with it. We have the independent testing agency performing tests, and GZA is there with us as the project's geotechnical engineer to verify that the whole team, subcontractor right up through OPM, is doing the right thing in terms of getting this building built properly. So the total proposed additional service value for GZA is 151,250. And being that there are no remaining allowance values for Perkins Eastman, the full value of that is also in budget revision request 8. So budget revision request 8 and amendment 9 total 151,250. And I give either Dan or John Lamar, do you think I captured that description right, or is anything you want to add to that? Sorry to put you on the spot, but again, the stuff's
Yeah.
No, I
Nope.
think you got it.
confusing.
We need ongoing services from GZA to continue to make sure that it's done properly and fully and correct.
Doing our due diligence.
I don't think so.
Mhm. So this one, again, just real quick, it's already shown in the budget, but sorry for all this clicking, but just to revisit what I said earlier, we started out with 2.0 million in soft contingency. After these two, we will have used 305. There's 1.754 remaining. And as I noted to Rich, there's really only one item I can envision going against this 175, and that's the final Sanborn Head proposal. Typically, we try to get through construction with this soft contingency left, and this becomes something that can help furniture and equipment at the end of the job. Those are really the only other soft costs we have. You see these budgets for furniture and technology, 4.4 million, 3.4 million. Anything that's left in soft contingency at the end of the day typically helps bail those out if needed when we come to purchasing in late 2027. Purchasing of furniture and technology. So if there are no questions on this, we're seeking a motion to approve Perkins Eastman Contract Amendment 5 and BRR 8 to fund additional GZA geotechnical services in the proposed amount of $151,250.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. For the roll call, Mike Picardi,
Yes.
Stacy Rizzo,
Yes.
Susan Gravellisi,
Yes.
Dr. Kelly,
Yes.
Carl Svensson,
Yes.
Christopher Bowen,
Yes.
Rich Viscay. I think Rich had to leave.
Yep, Rich left.
Yes.
Mayor Keith,
Yes.
Anthony Cogliandro,
Yes.
Don Martelli,
Yes.
and Chris Cermella.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that's agenda items 5, 6, 7. We're gonna skip 8. Susan, I'll be in touch in the coming days about maybe some help with scheduling next week. I saw your text. I appreciate that. I just want to nail down when I know we're going to be ready.
Okay.
So we'll
Sounds
follow up
good.
with that and defer this agenda item 8 to the next meeting, which brings us to public comment. I'll give folks a minute. I'm not sure I see anybody, but if there's any public comment, name and address for the record.
I don't see anybody on the attendance list, Brian,
Okay, going once, going twice.
thankfully.
Agenda item 10, any new business or other business from the committee? There being,
Brian, I got one quick question.
yeah,
French, the utility demo. What utilities were they, what existing utilities were they demoing on site?
without looking at a plan, I'm not sure. Chris,
Did they, I just want to make sure everything was located.
did they find everything you mean?
Yeah.
They were looking for? I can certainly find out. I know the stuff was stuff that we went through with you and Nick, and we knew it was abandoned, but it is a good question. I'll follow up with the Consigli team in French to get you an answer on that.
Yeah, there haven't been any questions about anything coming from them. It seems like they kind of knew what was going on and figured out and had enough information. So it
I
wasn't like
believe-
total chaos. They knew.
All right. Just want to make sure they know. They find everything in the ground. There's a bunch.
Yeah, they seem to have. I
Stuff
don't know if there was
everywhere.
any like there were a few things that were they did mention about the encampments. There's a lot of debris from that.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
They did mention that specifically.
Okay.
I don't know if this is related, but I understand there was an issue with the fiber to the site, that there was a pull down. I know Jonathan had to go over there and take care of some stuff last week, but I believe that was all corrected.
I believe it was. Yes, correct. Okay, if there's no other new business, we could move to a vote to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that one.
Excellent.
Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Recording stopped.